Welcome back to another episode of Business in West Africa. I'm your host, Jim Bauman, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, David Kpondehou,
Yes,
founder and
that's me,
CEO
yeah.
of Africa Samurai Consulting.
Mm.
Yesterday, we talked about finding the right person and how to go about doing that. In today's episode, we will talk about having recruited the person.
Yes.
How do you manage them?
Mm.
What is the work culture in Benin like? And then how do contracts work, HR contracts work?
Good.
Of course, I will always ask this to David. So, David, to kick it off, you've hired somebody.
Yes.
How do you manage that person?
Management style is still the same everywhere, but we have more European culture in our management system, like management style back in Benin. So, like, people have to work for 8 hours per day, and it's result based, But at the same time, when you're setting the goal, seeking for the result, you need also to take care of people. So, both taking care of people, considering people, and seeking for result is something I think is the best way to manage people, even whatever else. Yeah. So I think that's the way, from my perspective, people used to manage the employees in our countries. Yeah.
So let's say you've got a few new employees joining your company.
Yes.
It's day one. It's 9 o'clock, 9:30, start day of your company. Those people come in. What is the first thing you do with them?
Sure, you brief them about the company goal, vision, and if you have set up the rules, you need to explain them what are the different rules, and at the same time you should also ask them their opinion on how they would like to work with you. So what type of thing they don't like at work, or what are they like, what kind of specific requests they have from company, so that they can feel comfortable work and produce a result. So this first day of first day meeting with the employees should be a meeting where you get more information from employees, but at the same time you should give them as much as expected. Set up the clear discipline in the company, and create the good environment for the work. From that day, I think if everything is fixed that day, I think everything else for the coming day should be pretty good. Yeah.
So you get to know the employee, you set the expectations for them in terms of their work, the actual work, the task, the responsibilities.
Yes.
Do you usually just tell them what is expected of them and they have to figure it out by themselves, or you take them step by step exactly what they need to do? How do you go about doing that?
It depends on what type of employee level, because some employees at management level and execution level is not the same, right? So for management level, if he knows the goal and understand clearly what is the vision of the company, and you already set up the goal, I think it's easy for him to take from there. But for executive side, I think it's better to set up daily goal or weekly goal. Make sure that you meet the goal progressively. Yes, by controlling for sure the action or report, and make sure you progress that way.
And if you're the manager, what is a common interval to talk with your subordinates? Do you talk with them every week? Do you talk with them every day? Do you talk with them every month? Of course, I understand it might be different depending on how long they've been in the company. But as a starter, let's take people that have just joined the company. How often would you sit down with them?
I will sit down with them every maybe twice a week.
And what kind of things do you discuss during that time?
on Monday, we will discuss about the week, the goal of the week. What are the specific mission or the specific action to be taken in the week? And then in Friday, we'll be going to summarize to make sure that whatever we discuss on Monday have been achieved or not. But of course, during the week, we should have some discussion with key people, like some people, based on their progress and based on the needs and based on how to update them. But in general, having general meeting, it should be, from my perspective, like on Monday and Friday, like beginning of the week and the end of the week. So we set up the goal at the beginning of the week. We clearly explain the expectation for the week, and at the end of the week, we try to make the report and see if we have met the expectation, or if we can set up new goal from there.
And let's take another example now. If the person has already been working with the company for 2 years or more, would you still sit down with them on Monday and Friday the same, or would you spend less time with that person, or on the other hand, even more time?
I think because I need a team, I will make sure that we meet as a team twice a week, so that if that person doesn't have specific thing to do on the time of the meeting, it should be there, and everyone can catch up together and know what kind of difficulty the other member are facing and how to support each other. Those kind of things very important in the company.
And then let's talk about decision making. Let's say, regardless of your rank in the company, the decision to be made falls within your scope of responsibilities. Would people in Benin be more accustomed to making a decision themselves and just go with the work, or would they go to their superior first and discuss what to do with this particular situation?
If the situation is not that much like worst situation, is something solvable, like which can be solved within the time, most of employees in our country are proactive.
Okay.
Yeah, if they see that they can solve the situation, they will solve it and report.
So they take an action first and then report later.
Report. But if they think, taking this action will be a little bit hard or will affect the company, then they can call the manager and tell him, there is this situation, this is how I want to manage it, what do you think? And then if the manager says, okay, go ahead, then they can go ahead. With just a call, they can go ahead for such kind of situation if they are on the field. But if it's about email or this a mail to send to other companies, then they can go to the manager office to check with him and see how to, prepare that and correct it. I think that's the way.
And how do evaluations work in Benin? Do people make like a scorecard at the start saying what their expectations are that they will reach these next 3 months, and then you judge based on that, or it's simply a one-on-one conversation and the superior will just give their feelings, or how does that work in Benin?
I think because people are divided into a team, so the team leader is getting daily report or feedback from the employees, and it always depends on the type of the work, because we don't know what kind of work we're talking about right now. But I think the team leader should be, the one following the subordinate, and he can say exactly what this subordinate is doing at this time and what is the achievement. Yes, and then he report to the general manager.
I see. And how frequently would that feedback be given to the employee? Is that when it comes to their mind, do they say it immediately, or they schedule a meeting once a week, or they do it on a quarterly or annual basis?
I think if the result is good, during the weekly meeting, everyone will know, during the meeting, the manager will be mentioning about that. Oh, you did this great, congratulations. If the result is bad, um, their manager also is allowed to tell the employees that, oh, you're not progressing this week, and that kind of information depend on the type of manager. Some manager will call the employees alone to privately mention to him that, this week your results have not been good and what's happening, and try to discuss with him and understand what's the situation. But some other can just say it with amount front of the other employees. So, but it have to depend on the manager leadership style.
I see. If people receive criticism, criticism publicly, is that something that that is acceptable in Benin, or criticism pretty much has to be given privately?
I think it depends on the people, but as you know, when criticizing people in front of public is, if it's not necessary, better keep it to, do it privately. But it depends on the situation, because if you do it private 1, 2, 3 times and you can't see any change, it's better to find another way to deal with it. So I think that's something people are doing based on their personal leadership of managing other people. So, but one of the best way to do it is what I still remember the 1 Minute Manager. Do you know the book of the 1 Minute Manager?
Oh, right, the book.
Yes, it's saying that you can praise people when they do something good, but at the same time, if they do something wrong, then you call it to do 1 minute reprimand. You need to reprimand them immediately to let them know that you're not against them. You still love them, but you don't like what they did. So don't make people feel like you don't love them. But if you want to say something in front of other people, then make sure that you do it the right time, and you still show praise, you should show love while talking about what people did wrong. So I think I like that management style.
Okay.
Yes.
Then moving on to the more practical things.
Yes.
So you hire a person, which I guess means you're establishing a contract as well.
Yes.
What does an employment agreement look like in Benin?
Employment agreement in Benin is, let's say, maybe 2 years ago it was different than from 2 years to now, because currently 2 to 3 years, I think, the situation has been changed a little bit, because there are permanent contract and non-permanent contract. So these days, the employer can, renew the contract as much as you want. But before that, if you hire someone, you have one contract, second contract, and then the third one should be immediately permanent contract.
I see.
But currently, the situation is the way that the employer, like even the private sector, you can keep having, non-permanent contract as much as you can. It's up to you. If you want to go for permanent contract, then you decide on your own. But so it doesn't matter how many times you sign the contract with the person. You just do it based on your needs, and that make things more easier for company and investors. But yeah, somehow some people are complaining about this kind of situation because it doesn't secure the employees too much, but we think it encourages competition, because if you're not good for a certain position, the companies can feel free to hire another person for that position. Yeah,
So you would say that right now temporary contracts are more common than permanent contracts,
exactly.
and most temporary contracts are 1 year or 6 months, or
1 year most.
okay. And then the contracts are generally full time, I guess, 40 hours per week.
Yes.
Okay.
Full-time.
And when the people get paid, is it on a per hour basis, or it's on a monthly basis, or it's more about if they're in a factory, for instance, like based on the number of products they manufacture?
Monthly base. It's
Monthly
monthly
base.
base, yes.
Okay. Then are bonuses common, or other types of compensation on top of the regular salary?
Yes, we do have those bonus based on the based on how much the company get profit during a certain like performance, based on performance and how much people have increased the sales and those kind of stuff. And also we have at the end of the year, there is some company who pay what they call the 13th month.
Right.
And this
Yes.
kind of possibility exists. And there are also some bonus regarding the position. For example, if you are in sales position, then the company might set up some rule that, okay, if you sell till this amount, you have this bonus. So you can get it automatically on your monthly salary. So it's percentage based also.
Holidays. How many holidays are common for a person to have?
Holidays almost. I would say in the year you deserve 1 month, 1 full month.
So it's like 20 days that
Yes.
you can get.
Yes, in
Wow.
the year, and then there are some other public holidays that's
course.
normal. Yes, but in the year, so 20.
And are there any other benefits that you think are common in Benin that employees get?
Yeah, there is a pension and other type of benefits. Yeah.
Is it mandatory for a company to put in money for the pension for the
Yes.
employee?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. What about, let's say, company cafeteria where the employees can have lunches or so, or dinners? Is that a common thing, or do people generally go out to buy their lunch, or they bring homemade lunch?
Well, I would say generally people buy for their own lunch.
Okay, and lunch break is 1 hour, I guess?
Lunch break is, let's say, it's up to, yes, it's 1 hour, depending, like, this is 2 hours something.
Oh, wow. So
Be-
what time do people generally start and finish their work?
Because you work from 8 to 12.
You work from 8 to 12, that's the morning.
Yeah, morning.
And then you take your lunch break.
lunch break, and then you come back from 2
And then you work until?
until 6.
Okay,
Mm.
got it.
So it's 8 hours, right?
It's an 8 hour.
Yeah.
That's an 8 hour workday. Yeah. We can calculate.
Yeah.
I think we've covered pretty much all the general topics related to employees and
I think so too.
evaluations, how to get them on the onboarding process and the contracts. As always, if you want to get in touch with us, our social handles are in the description below. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, or we either reply on the comment or we will make a future video about that. David,
Yes.
it's always a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you, brother.
In the next episode, we will go into more detail in time management and punctuality, and more of a cultural aspect of people in Benin.
Thank you
See
very
you all
much.
tomorrow.